The unfair truth. People judge before you speak. Let me tell you something uncomfortable but real. The world decides how to trade you before your mouth ever opens. When you look poor, people don't just see lack of money. They assume lack of value. Lack of discipline, lack of standards, lack of options. And suddenly, everything feels heavier. Service becomes colder. Opportunities shrink. Small mistakes cost you more. But here's the part most people miss. This isn't about becoming rich or chasing brands. It's about changing the signal you carry so the world stops resisting you before you've even begun. Before you change your job, your city, or your luck, there's something you must understand clearly. Right now, you're fighting on two fronts. One is visible. Bills, pressure, responsibility, daily weight. The other is invisible. How the world reads you before you speak. That invisible front is where many people lose quietly every single day. Let me hook you with something that might sting. You can be a good person and still treated like you don't matter. You can be intelligent and still be specento like a child. You can be hardworking and still be ignored. And a large part of that, whether you like it or not, has nothing to do with your bank balance. It has everything to do with your signal. The world does not meet your heart first. It meets your presentation, your posture, your eyes, your energy, your pace, your tone. Andy's, your grooming, your clothes, your overall look. When you appear worn down, when you look like life has beaten you, the world reacts. People speak shorter. Patience decreases. Assumptions enslaves. Boundaries get tested. You stop receiving the benefit of the doubt. And you start moving through life as if every door is heavier than it should be. Don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying this is fair. It isn't. I'm not praising it. I'm not defending it. I'm pointing at reality so you stop being confused by it. Because confusion drains energy and you cannot afford to leak power. Let me leave a thought hanging. For a moment, most people don't judge Yaobi because they are cruel. They judge Yaobi because they are lazy. Hold that now. Think about the last time you walk a dinto, a place where nobody knew you. A shop, an office, a hospital, a reception desk, an interview room, even a familiar gathering after time away. You hadn't spoken yet, but you felt it. You could sense whether you were being welcomed or measured, whether help would come easily or reluctantly, whether you were taken seriously or lightly. That feeling isn't magic. It's signal reading. Humans have done this forever. Who feels stable? Who feels desperate? Who feels confident? Who feels chaotic? And here's the painful truth. When you look poor, many people don't just see lack of money. They confuse it with lack of control. They imagine disorder. They assume problems follow you. They assume you'll demand more than you give. And people fear being pulled into struggle, so they keep distance. Cold distance. Then you walk away thinking the world is against you. Maybe it is, but not because you are cursed, because your signal is being misread. Now listen carefully. This is the good news. If it's a signal, it can be trained. And if it can be trained, you can change outcomes without changing who you are. You don't need to become fake. You need to become clear. You need to become steady. You need to become ordered. Because order is loud. Order speaks before your mouth opens. Let me return to the thought I left earlier. Most people don't judge Yaobek because they are evil. They judge Yaobek. They are lazy. They take mental shortcuts. They see mess and assume a messy life. They see tired eyes and some weak will. They see poor grooming and assume low standards. They see cheap clothes and assume cheap values. Unfair? Yes. Common? Also yes. So if you keep entering the world with a signal that invites the wrong assumptions, don't be surprised when the world responds to those assumptions. That's why everything feels harder. You're not just dealing with your reality, you're dealing with negation of your reality. And imagination can be cruel. Now here's something that might change how you move today. Looking rich is not goal. Looking expensive is not the goal. Even looking impressive is not the goal. The goal is to look stable. Stabilize powerful. Stable is trusted. Stable is given chances. Stable energy makes people relax. And when people relax, they cooperate. When they tense around you, they resist. So ask yourself honestly, what does your presence do to people? Do they soften or brace? Do they trust or prepare to defend? Your presence is a language. And right now, you may be speaking one you never intended. Before your mind gets defensive, let MEP protect your dignity. Struggling is not shameful. Having little money is not shameful. Being hit by life is not shameful. But neglect is a choice. And money. Signals that look like poverty are actually signals of neglect. Not always. Sometimes access is limited, but often it's not about price. It's about care. Two people can wear the same cheap shirt. One looks defeated, the other looks disciplined. Same fabric, different message. This isn't about money. It's about mastery. Picture this. A man walks into a room asking for a chance. Version 1. He moves fast, shoulders collapsed, eyes on the floor, voice rushed, apologizing for existing. Version 2. Same man, same budget, same life. But he washed his foes, combed his hair, wiped his shoes, smoothed his shirt, stood upright, breathed slowly, and spoke like he belonged to the ground beneath him. Which version gets treated like a problem? Which version gets treated like a human being? This isn't about ego. This is about self-respect. And self-respect sends a signal. I won't waste your time, and I won't let you waste mine. That signal changes everything. Let me tell you a short, anonymous story. A young man goes to ask for work. He's not lazy, not stupid, just buried under pressure. He's tired, broke, ashamed. Here's what he has: wrinkled clothes, worn shoes, messy hair. The person behind their desk barely looks up. Hands him a form. No warmth, no curiosity. Just next. He leaves angry, then ashamed, then angry again. A week later, he borrows a cleaner shirt. Not expensive, just cared for. Gets a basic haircut, washes his face properly, cleans his shoes with soap and water. Practices slow breathing and eye contact in the mirror. Same place, same desk. This time the person looks up and says, "Have a seat." Just that. 12 words, but those words change his entire nervous system. He answers better. Sounds clearer, appears capable. Suddenly, they see potential. What changed? Not his worth. Signal. Some of you will say, so people are fake. Yes, and you can stay angry about that for years and remain stuck. Or you can train and move forward without losing integrity. That's maturity. Accepting reality without becoming bitter. Bitterness itself is an perverted signal. You can feel it on a person. It makes them sharp in the wrong way. Tight, defensive. Understand. This, when you look poor, you've tested more. People push your boundaries, speak over you, offer lower prices, delay paying you. Assume you'll accept bad treatment. Not because you deserve it, but because they think you have no options. So if you want to change how the world treats you, you must change what you tolerate. Tolerance is a signal too. Tolerate chaos, and chaos follows. Tolerate disrespect, and disrespect returns. Not always, but often. The training is simple, not easy. Becomes to mean who respects themselves so consistently that disrespect feels awkward around you. You don't need tosh out. You don't need to threaten. You didn't need to act rich. You need to be grounded. Grounded is quiet power. Now a pattern interrupt. Even with an empty bank account, you can be expensive. Expensive in standards, expensive in cleanliness, expensive in punctuality, expensive in calm. Calm is luxury. Most people are emotionally broke even with money. So on. You cultivate calm, you carry something rare, and rare things get noticed. Don't chase looking rich. That path destroys people. They buy to cover insecurity, show off to hide fear, chase validation, and become owned by other people's eyes. We don't do that. We build order. Because order is the first thing poverty tries to steal. Steals time, sleep, patience, planning. It forces rushing. And rushing makes you look even poorer. Not in money and control. So the first step is not earning more. The first step is moving with control even before you have more. Because control creates opportunities, and opportunities create options, and options create freedom. Now listen closely, because this part is cleanliness plus calm plus clarity, the 3 upgrades practical. Your look is not only your clothes. Your look is your posture, your pace, your grooming, your tone, your eye contact, your ability to pause before speaking, your ability to listen without looking desperate. Desperation is one of the strongest poor signals. And desperation makes people step away. Even kind people step away. They don't want to be grabbed. So you must train yourself to be calm, even when you need something. You can need help and still speak with dignity. You can ask for an opportunity and still look like you will contribute. You can be hangry and still look disciplined. That combination is powerful. Now, let me open another thought. Leave it hanging. There is a difference between humility and invisibility. Hold that, wheel reader. Many people confuse humility with shrinking. They think being humble means buying meal. So, they dress like they dance single quotes TMATT, they speak like they don't matter. They walk like they don't matter. They accept less than they deserve and call it patience. No, that's not humility. That's fear wearing a polite mask. True humility is stable. It doesn't need to dominate, but it doesn't disappear either. It stands. It is present. It is clear. So return to the thought. Humility is not making yourself center. Invisibility is believing you don't deserve a place. One is strength. One is a wound. And wound dead people have tells. They apologize too much. They explain too much. They laugh stop shrinking. How judgment makes you withdraw disrespect. They tolerate poor treatment to avoid conflict. Then they go home and hate it themselves. That hatred leaks out as bitterness, and bitterness becomes your face. Then the world reads your face and decides your trouble, and you say everything is against me. You see the loop, so we break it at the start. Self-respect. Now, another short story animus. Woman in her late 40s. Life squeezes her. Stress, family pressure, money pressure. She stops caring for herself because it's exhausted, not lazy. Exhausted, she tells herself. I don't care what people think, but the truth, she cares a lot. That sentence is armor. One day, she goes somewhere to ask for help. The person at the front desk speaks coldly. Short answers, no kindness. She leaves humiliated and tells herself, see, they treat people like me like nothing. A friend says, come with me. They don't buy luxury. They buy clean basics, a simple top, something that fits. She brushes her hair, cleans her nails, wipes her shoes, stands straighter. She goes back another day, same place. That person looks up and smiles. How can I help you? And she realizes something painful. She wasn't only being judged, she was also teaching the world how to treat her by how she treated herself. not because she deserved the coldness or leer, but because humans mirror presence training, pace, breathing, eye contact signals. So if you want the world to stop acting like everything is against you, you must stop giving it a signal, says you've surrendered. Now microhook change one thing for the next 30 days, your pace. Poor energy often moves in two speeds. Rushed or frozen. Rushed because anxious, frozen because ashamed, both communicate instability. Train athered, speed deliberate, not slow like lazy, deliberate. Lie controlled, walk like you have time. Even if you didn't speak like you're choosing words, even if you're nervous. Hold eye contact 1 second longer, note as a challenge, as a presence. You don't need money for this, and it changes how people respond. B's deliberate movement suggests Suption's hand. People respect options. Now let's talk about the trap inside your head. When you feel judged, you shrink. You stop applying. You stop asking questions. You stop negotiating. You stop approaching people who could help you. You become quiet in the wrong way, not come small. And then your world gets smaller, not only because of society, because you withdrew. So the cure is not only external. The cure is expansion, small expansions. One conversation where rows speak clearly. One day where you dress clean, even if it's simple. One promise you keep. One skill you practice. One application you submit. One walk you'll take with posture. And you repeat it until it becomes you. Now, I want to boundaries and respect. What you tolerate grows give you something to remember. A simpler rule, never beg for respect. Build proof. Proof is not showing off. Proof is consistency. Proof is being reliable. Proof is being punctual. Proof is doing what you said you would do. Proof is keeping your space in order. Proof is treating your body like it matters. Because proof creates reputation. And reputation is a social currency stronger than any outfit. People pay attention to reputation. They may ignore your words, but they watch your pattern. So becomes a mean with a pattern that commands trust. Now another pattern interrupt. A messy life makes you easy to dismiss. Order makes you harder to ignore. Order's not fancy. Order is a bed made, a shirt folded, a bag prepared the night before, a phone call returned, a message replied, a deadline respected, a simpler e.t. Poverty attacks routine because a routine creates progress. So build a routine like it is your shelter, even fewer shelter is small. Now let's address something people don't like to hear. Sometimes people prefer you to look poor because it makes them feel superior. B's. It makes them feel safe. Because if you stay small, they don't have to compete with you. So when you begin to improve, cleaner, calmer, more disciplined, you will feel resistance, not always direct. It comes as jokes. Oh, look at you. Sometimes it comes as discouragement. Why are you trying? Sometimes it comes building proof, reliability, routine, reputation as silence. They stop supporting you, good. That means you are moving. If you never face resistance, you might not be changing anything. So you must decide comfort from those whole like you, small, or freedom that requires accessible. Now, let's return to the core theme. When you look poor, everything feels against you. So what do? You stop trying to look rich. You stop trying to impress. You stop trying to buy your way into respect. You train 3 things that are free and stronger than money. Cleanliness.com. Clarity. Cleanliness says, I take care of what I have. Calm says, I am not controlled by cows. Clarity says, I know who I am and what I want. These 3 change how you are treated because they change how you treat yourself. Now here is where many people sabotage. They change the outside for one day but keep the inside chaotic. So the signal does natch. They wear something clean but their eyes are restless. They speak confidently, but their breath is shallow. They try to look stable, but their energy screams desperation. People feel that mismatch, so don't chase surface change, chase alignment. Make the outside match the inside you're training. Train the inside first. Breath, posture, pace. Then the outside becomes natural. Now, I'm going to challenge you with a question. What if the world isn't against you? What if the world is simply responding to what you repeatedly show it? Not because it's moral, because it's efficient. And if small daily discipline that changes your life is efficient, you can influence it with training. This is not manipulation. This is mastery. Now, I'll give you a simple practice that sounds too small, so your ego will want to reject it. Good. That's how you know it matters. When you wake up, do not touch your phone first. Do one act of order first. Make your bed. Wash your face. Drink water. Put on something clean. Stand up straight. Then go into the day already respecting yourself. Because when you respect yourself first, you stop begging Thrall to do it. And that changes your whole posture in life. Now listen, Beckos, this part is subtle. People didn't just respond to your clothes, they respond to your relationship with time. If you always arrive late, you'll look poor in discipline. If you always rush, you look poor in control. If you always cancel, you look poor in reliability. Reliability is wealth. So start buying wealthy in reliability. Return calls. Show up on time. Deliver what you promise. Even if it's small and you will notice something, people start trusting you with more. Not because they love you, because you make their life easier. Now, one more anonymous story. A man takes public transport daily. People cut them in line, bump him, talk over him. He believes he's invisible. He trains one thing for 2 weeks, posture and gaze. He stops collapsing, stops staring at the floor, breathes handling resistance when you start improving dipper, keeps his shoulders relaxed and a pen. Same station, same crowd. Fewer people bump him. The line cutters choose someone else. Not always, but less. Why? Because his body stopped communicating. Easy target. You don't need to be violent to have a presence. Presence is a boundary. Now, if you're still listening, here's the sharp truth that frees you. No one is coming to rescue your signal. No one will announce from today, we will treat you fairly. So, you stop waiting. You start building leverage. Leverage is skill. Leverage is reputation. Leverage is consistency. Leverage is self-control. And self-control is the strongest rich look you can wear because it can't be bought. It can only be trained. Now, micro hook. This is important. You can be broke and still be dignified. Dignity is not arrogance. Dignity is cleanliness in the middle of struggle. Dignity is showing up even when it's hard. Dignity is not turning into bitterness. Dignity is being firm without buying Groot. And dignity changes your future, Beckas. It changes who stays around you. People who only respect money will disappear. People who respect discipline will come closer, and those are the people you want in your life if you want to rise. So today, chase a new identity. Chase a new standard. One standard you keep daily. Becca's standards become habits. Habits, dignity, and struggle. Staying grounded under pressure. Beckham character. Character, become destiny. And if you're thinking, but miss situation is heavy. I know that's sexically why you need standards. Standards are the rope you hold when life tries to pull you under. So start small, but be strict, not harsh. Strict means consistent. Strict means you don't negotiate with your lowest self every morning. You decide once, then you follow. Nor remember the opening idea signal. Hooray, the strongest version. If you look poor, the world might treat you like you're disposable. So you become municipally becoming disciplined. You become some mean whose presence changes a room. Not with loudness, with steadiness, with calm, with clarity. And on say, oh, carry that. Even if your clothes are resemble, even if your phone is old, even if your bank account is still covering. You will notice the world starts to soften, not because the world became kinder, it's because you stopped communicating, cerned. You started communicating construction. You started looking like someone who is building. And people respect builders. Now don't rush this. Don't try to tachinate everything in one day. That's desperation again. We don't do desperation. We do training, we do reputation. We do quiet wins, we do consistent standards. And we keep going even when nobody claps back. The point is not applause. The point is freedom. So the next time y'all walk into a room, don't ask, do they like me? Ask, what does my presence communicate? And if the answer is I look the shift, when the world starts responding different like life is defeating me, then you don't hate yourself. You don't blame society all day. You train, you wash, you clean, you stand, you breathe, you slow down. You speak clearly, you keep promises, you build proof, and the proof stacks. And the stack becomes undeniable base of Angelou. Walk into the same room that used to treat you like nothing, and without using a word, something shifts a longer look, a different tone, a little more respect. Not because you begged for it, because you arrived as someone horsebacks themselves. And when you doth it long enough, you stop needing thrall to feel for you because you start feeling something stronger. You start feeling that you are no longer at war with yourself. And from that place, even the unfair world becomes something you can move through with control, with patience, with presence, like you're carrying your life in both hands carefully, deliberately, as if it matters, because its final reminder, train the signal, don't chase a pruvodos. And the training continuestro and the next day and the next day until the signal is no longer something you try to project. It's just who you are when you wake up and choose your order again. Even before anyone is watching, even before anyone believes in you, even before the results show up. Because you decided quietly that you, Aradone, looking like you've surrendered and no, you're going to look like you're building, and you will keep building, and you will keep building, and you will keep building.